All right, just try to keep my waist thin here. All right, so we're gonna do the trim the waist workout here. All right, so 3 factors. Let me just start with the jog here real quick. I'll start with marching here. All right. So 3 factors in it. Actually, a disclaimer, right? I gotta make sure of this. You're exercising, under your your own recommendations there. I can't see you, so it's on you to make sure you're doing this well. Try to get the posture cues cued in right. Make sure that if something hurts, you're not continuing to do it. And what else did I say in there? It may not be the best for you. And talk to your doctor if you're unsure about some of these things too. All right, so just wanted to make sure I get that disclaimer out there. All right, get some jumping jacks going. All right, so we're warming up here a little bit. We're gonna use 3 different pieces of equipment, so you might wanna get those ready. Exercise ball, a weight that you can hold in your hands. It could be a dumbbell, it could be a kettlebell, it could be just a plate, all right? And a band, all right? You could also just use a bar, all right? So that's for the row, when we get to that row there. Go ahead and tap back, reach up. Did I say that too soon? I don't know. Stretch it out, loosen things up a bit here. Now, 3 main ways to really attack this waist slimming. One is to work the core muscles. All right, so working the core muscles, so we got a core exercise in there. One is to work the other muscles, because if we build muscles in other locations, the core gets slimmer, the waist gets slimmer there. All right, and the third one that we're attacking in this workout is overall energy consumption. All right, so there's an exercise in there that's big on energy burn there. Go ahead and kick back, crisscross here. All right, so that's what we've got in store for us here. All right, so I'm excited. Hope you're excited. Trimming the waist. All right, so I do try to keep it kind of thin around here. It's definitely a goal of mine. I figure as a trainer, like one of my lifetime goals is to have gray hair and 6-pack abs. And so it's working in both regards. It's accelerating there. I thought I was going to get older before the gray hair came, but okay. All right, but here's a fact about me. Who am I? I'm Jeremy, talltrainer. This is my wife and I. We like to explore different things and check out stuff. And this is like a cave that's in Rochester, New York. It's like under like some apartment building, some sketchy area, but boy, it was kind of fun, So we like to get out and just try some different things. And when you turn the corner and get away from the mouth of the cave and you can't see anything, you better make sure you have 2 flashlights, just in case one goes out. All right, step aside. So it has nothing to do with trimming your waist, but cool pictures, all right? Interesting. All right, so we're loosening up here, getting things ready so when we hit it, we can really, really go for it. All right, so the workout that we've got here, we've got the push-ups. We're doing a tap back, which is like a cardio tap back. And then the drawing exercise is one of my favorite deep core exercises here. A little Frankenstein walk on the warm up here, so that's like kicking leg out. Then we have the front squat, the fast feet, it's the high intensity leg movement there. Then we have the stability ball crunch, another one of my favorite deep core exercises, but it's harder. All right, and then we've got the row. Then we got oblique crunch one side, oblique crunch the other side, and then back to row again. And we're going through 3 sets on these 3 exercises. Take a minute rest, then 3 sets through the next one, minute rest, and then 3 sets through the final one. All right, a little squat hold to get ourselves loosened up there. And we're gonna start off with the push-ups. We got a minute of each exercise. So we're jamming and focusing on the strength exercise. We're gonna try to really make sure we nail posture really good, because better posture equals better abs. So if I'm slouching over here while I'm squatting, I got nothing going on my abs. But if I push that chest out, squeeze the shoulders down, now the abs are engaged. There's a wall there. There's a wall there going on, all right? Let me get my timer set. Prepare to get toasted. We're gonna be breathing hard, muscles burning, and the core, really deep core stuff, gonna be a good challenge, all right? So, ready? Push-ups first. You can do it on a coffee table or a 3rd step or 4th step on the stairs or a countertop, if you need a lighter version. Ready, set, and go. All right, so push-ups. Now to really make sure you include core, this is basically a plank that's traveling up and down. All right, so chest is out, shoulders within the ears, abs pulled in. All right, we're gonna start that work in the core right now. All right, we're working the arms too, because now we're trying to see if we can get any of that body fat. We can consume it with exercise, but build some muscle at the same time. And our waist will get smaller even if our weight stays the same. So even if we're not very good at dieting, you know, we can still influence the waist circumference. All right? Dropping in, shoulders away from the ears, chest is puffed out. Push the chest out more at the bottom. Abs pulled in hard at the bottom and pushing up. You will not get much abs if your butt's up high in the air. All right? So you keep those hips low as you're doing these push-ups. And actively engage the core. A slight bend in the knees will get good stuff happening too. Or we got tap backs. You know, these are a bit more, so I'll start with like a lighter version. All right? Right here, but then we're gonna try to kick it up. So our legs are a big calorie burner. All right? So that's why we got this going, kicking in here. All right? So I'm switching, tapping back, and coming up. It's got like almost like a little bit of hop in there. So we're getting the heart rate climbing, a metabolic effect happening here. Oh yeah. Feel the heart rate coming already. Start off feeling a little bit cold, but not anymore. You're like, what's this got to do with trimming your waist? Everything. This is it. Keep good posture while you're at it, because why not include the waist now? Now my favorite, I think it is my favorite ab exercise. Hard to do while you're breathing hard, but you still can. Pulling the lower abdominals in. All right? So that area below your belly button, you're pulling in. You're not arching your back up to do this. It's just the drawing into the abs. You want to check on it. Relax your stomach. Make sure your back doesn't move at all, then pull it back in. Now you can pull in pretty hard, like you're trying to bruise your organs with your abs, all right? Good, strong pull in there. That's starting to train some deeper abdominal muscles that if you do too hard of an ab exercise, you'll miss them completely. And that's a hard pull in. And hopefully it radiates the sides, the obliques as well. Those do a lot for narrowing the waist, trimming that waist up real nice. Hard pull. All right, now we're gonna take that right into the push-up. You go, oh boy, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, that's right. All right. So I'll include that ab pull in with the push-up now. All right. If you need to do it from your knees, do that. But don't leave out the abs. The abs are in the push-up, but we're also getting some good arm, shoulders, chest. Even a little bit of the back if we really squeeze those shoulders away well. Now a lot of times I'm really trying to focus on abs. I'll have my knees a little bit more bent because the straight legs tend to get hip flexor more. All right, I gotta finish this with my knees. Pull hard in the abs, push hard with the arms. Chest is out, abs pulled in. All right, up for the tapping. All right, so I get that heart rate back up. May feel like it didn't go down too far, but it did drop some. So we're gonna kick that back up. Keep a steady heart rate in here. Enjoy some of that calorie burn. Now, when it comes to trimming your waist, you can't spot reduce. You can't take a bucket, plunge it into a pool, pull some water out, and leave a hole there. Doesn't work. All right? All right, all the water fills back in. So if you're doing core exercises to get rid of fat, that's not gonna do it. You need something that burns more calories at a higher speed. And that's why this one's in there. It's like pulling a big bucket out. That's gonna help remove the fat faster. All right, draw in. We're out of breath. We can still do it. Good pull in there. Hey Bobby, was that 5 rounds or just 2? No, it's just 2. I know. I already know. All right, pull those abs in. We're only doing 3 though, so. Abs are pulling in. Try a good strong pull in. For a lot of these ab exercises we're gonna do today, especially, but really all the time. It's not just doing the ab exercise, it's how you do it. How much you're focusing on pulling in. Like somebody's got a vacuum seal thing hooked up to your stomach and it's pulling air out of there. Puff the chest out like you took a big breath of air, but pull the lower abdominals in. Hard. You can spot strengthen. You can't spot reduce, but you can spot strengthen. All right? Push-ups. Abs in tight. Include them. Make sure your head doesn't drop. That also shuts down your abs. Keep your head up a little bit, but with your chin tucked in. Ooh, the arms shaking a bit, but that's good. We want to get some of this going. Getting the large muscles exhausted creates a big metabolic sink. All right. You've got to replace what you just burned out of the muscles, which raises your metabolism. Until you've replaced it. All right, tapping. So that's why we've got a strength exercise in there. You're gonna notice in each of these 3 sets, we've got a representative of one of the big 3. Push, pull, and legs. All right, let me pick it up a little more. If you drop a little bit lower, that's gonna get you puffing more. Just make sure your knees will take to that. All right, make sure the knees are okay with this. Couple more seconds here. All right, the draw in, one final time. I'm not gonna talk much on this because I can't talk, breathe, and pull at the same time very well. All right, chest is out, back is straight, not arching. Hard pull in. Make sure your neck's not pulling in too. It's not about your neck. If your wrists get tired here, make sure you're not leaning on them too hard. Put a little more weight on the knees. Shoulders away from the ears, chest is out. Hard pull in. All of the difficulty of this exercise is you and your determination to pull in. All of it. Some of the other ones, position will be part of the challenge. This one's a pretty easy position. But we're trying to get those deeper abdominals, lower abdominals, pulling in hard. All right, 3 rounds on that. We're gonna switch it up here. All right, so we have a front squat. All right, I got this weight, but you could use, a smaller weight, or even if you had a barbell, it's possible to do a front squat with a barbell, either resting on here if that's tough on your wrists. You should take it right to shoulders to do that. All right, I'm gonna use a kettlebell. It's one of the easiest ways to pull off a front squat. Front squat's great, good for the legs. It's gonna get that big muscle going, but it's also gonna get more core than a regular squat does because the way that weight is set up. All right, then we have fast feet. We're gonna be shuffling in here. Heart rate coming up, that's our heart rate one. And then we have stability ball crunch. We're on the ball for the first time here. All right, ready? Get that weight ready. Chest out, butt out, sinking down. Make sure you got posture set up really nice. Now, we're gonna try to keep the chest up extra on this, and that's gonna include more abs. So front squat has more chance of keeping that chest up more. Now, when you're doing that, don't push your knees forward trying to keep your chest up though. Keep that butt back and the chest up. And you're gonna feel that grab in the ab, all right? Ooh, that sounded good, Bobby. Grab in the ab. All right. Pushing back, squeezing out. So we're getting the legs, getting some core. The arms are still a little tired. Getting there, getting there. 5 seconds. Good stretch in there. All right, fast feet, narrow and wide. This is a quick one, but it'll get that heart rate up pretty good. Chase heart rate just a little bit. Even though it makes the abs a little harder to do. I got the solution in the last set though, so we're good. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it and love it. Or just hate it. But I like it. It's great exercises. 3 of my favorite abs in here. Fast you go, higher the heart rate goes. All right? All right. Almost there. 4, 3, 2, 1. And good. Sit on that ball. Roll out a little bit. Look up at the sky. Small little crunch. You're not swinging way up. Small little squeeze. When you're back here, pull the abs in hard and then come up. Maybe follow me for a couple. Come back, hold it, pull in, then come up. Come back, hold it, and then come up. Small, I'm not coming very big, right? Head's back, not pulling my head, not tipping it. Look at the ceiling, squeeze in there. Make sure your knees are bent 90 degrees, you don't want them out there. Bent knees more means more lower abdominal. That's usually the place people want to trim the most. Hard pull in. So get that drawing in exercise while you're doing this. And it'll really kick up the intensity a whole lot. All right, good. Front squat time. All right, right back to it. If I put it this way, it looks like a mustache, right? Hello. Front squatting. Like Mario. Drop it in, push the butt back, keep that chest up. You're gonna push the limit on the verticalness. Now, if you are worried you're gonna fall backwards, put a seat behind you so you can get the chest up more and lean back more. The more weight is on your heels, the more the abs are a part of the squat. All right? Push the butt back, chest is out. All right, fast feet. I'm gonna switch which foot leads the way on here. I'm gonna be ambidextrous on that. Get both sides. All right, so we got a fast feet shuffle. Cooking along right here. So you can pick up the speed a little bit, get the heart rate going a little bit. Make some room for metabolism to happen. The more intense your workouts are, the bigger the afterburn is, the greater the metabolic effect. About 12 seconds or so, maybe a little bit more, depending on my timer or that timer. All right, we got the stability ball crunch coming up right here. All right, sit on the ball, roll out, small squeezes, hard pull in. All right, if you can, dig your heels in, tighten your butt. Oh, if it's shaky while you're doing it, you know, it feels like you're nodding a lot, real fast succession, you probably can hit it at the best spot. That's the best spot to be in. You don't have to go fast if you're pulling hard. Hard pulling. Teaching your abs the way you want them to be. If you want your abs to stick out, well, stick them out while you're working out. If you want to pull in, pull them in while you're working out. Keep that head back. The head's like the counterweight for the exercise. Squeezing in there. All right. All right, front squat one more time. We're getting there, we're getting there. Keep that chest up. Almost falling back. Now obviously, one factor might be, maybe it's not so obvious, the heavier the weight is, the bigger the metabolic effect, the bigger the body changing effect. But you gotta be able to hold good posture while you're doing it. Chest out, butt out, back is straight, especially at the bottom of the squat. Stick that tailbone out, keep the chest up. Oh yeah. Drop it in, push that butt back. Squeeze it up. Fast feet here. All right. Heart rate, heart rate. You can't even move your arms sometimes on fast feet. Sometimes we'll do this on a bench. You go up, up, down, down. If you're having trouble figuring out how to do this one, maybe do it that way. Or just sprint and plate if you really have a tough time. The goal is quick foot movements that get the heart rate starting to climb. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Almost there. One more set on the stability ball here. Let's get to it early. All right, get to it. Let's get the good crunch going. Now, I got my hands back here. That adds more weight to what my abs are doing. If it's too much, I can put my hands in here. Sometimes it's helpful. Put your hands on your abs and then pull your abs away from your hands as you're doing this. Brings a little more mindful connection to it. You might get a better squeeze out of it, even though there's less weight out here. Lower abdominals particularly. Get those lower abdominals particularly. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, it's starting to fail out. Start to fail, you start to arch your back too much. Watch out for that. All right, take a little rest there. You could break into smaller movements, little tiny ones, as you start getting tired there. All right, probably because of that sooner. Got a minute rest. All right, this next one is worth the price of admission here, all right? All right, which was free. All right, so we got the row and the oblique crunch, all right? So I'm gonna show the row with a band, but you could do like a bent over row with a bar or some dumbbells here. All right, so the row with a band, right in here. First set on the oblique crunch is gonna be kind of tricky. You might not get as much out of that one while you're learning it, all right? But reach it in through here, grab in there, we'll pull. Then we're gonna go to the band, or the ball, right by the wall, and we'll get those feet set up, all right? So I'll try to show you that one when it comes up. And you might miss some of it, but honestly, you won't need a whole minute. You won't need a whole minute there. All right, so grabbing a hold, shoulders down, chest is out. Now, another one of those major parts of the body, the pulling exercises here. That's what we're trying to get, a different set of muscles. And you're welcome for putting legs in between arms and arms. So squeezing back now, working the back side of the shoulders here. Sitting tall. Push the chest out, squeeze it back. Push the chest out and squeeze it back. Now if you've got your band looped around something besides you, you can step back farther away from it to make it more challenging too. It is enough challenge for me. Got it? All right. Oblique crunch. All right, so I'm gonna get pretty close to the wall here with the ball, bottom foot's out in front, and this is how I'm setting up, okay? Right in here, I'm gonna tip out and come up, is really what the main work is. Now this hand I'm gonna put on my obliques, top hand I'm gonna put it behind the head, and I'm gonna point that elbow at the sky, and then point it at the wall. Point at the sky, and point it at the wall, all right? And here I'm pulling the abs in while I'm doing this. Right in there. And don't come all the way up here, and don't come all the way down where you're resting. All right, so it's right in between where it stays tight. Right here, it's tight, difficult. If it's too easy for you, you can do hands together and dive out. Just a small move, stretching in there, squeezing in there, stretching in there, squeezing in there. Whew. All right, other side. Make sure that ball is close enough to the wall. Your hips up higher on the ball to make it more challenging. The lower you are on there, the easier it is. All right, so tipping out. If you go out too far, you fall on your head, so don't go that far. So point the sky, point the wall. Just a small movement in there. Abs pulled in from the front while you're doing this. All right, pull those abs in from the front there. Again, if you want to make it harder, you do the dive out, reach the arms out. The farther they go out, the harder it is. I can only go about halfway out. That's pretty hard for me. Oh, you can feel the waist trimming right now. Almost there. A few more seconds. All right, good. Whew. All right, rows. Back to the rows. So now this one, you'll notice I cut out the cardiovascular exercise. All right? Because those oblique crunches are so hard, I want to make sure you work too out of breath for them. All right? So going right back to rows. We're not breathing quite as hard, but boy, are we going to nail this last set here. Feels good, feels good. Shoulders down. Try to push your chest out first and then pull. Push the chest out first and then pull. 10 seconds or so here. All right, the ball, near the wall, sit down on it, bottom foot's out in front, and here we go. Tipping out and coming up. You can adjust the knee bend you have to change the difficulty level a little bit too. Abs pulled in. Really feel that on the side here. Now you may get to where you get tired, you gotta take a break. Just do that. This one's a hard set here. Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna feel this one later. All right, switch sides. Just spinning around. If you're not used to being on the ball, it's gonna take you longer than it takes me, okay? But that's fine, because you probably don't need a ton of time to get really tired in this exercise. You might only need 30 seconds. Really squeezing in here. Cross, the obliques there. Oh. Small movement. Pulling in from the front here. Pulling in from the front as you do this. Our bottom foot's the one in front, because that opens up the abs just a little bit more towards the ceiling and gets those obliques really going. If you have the wrong foot, it's more lower back. Getting there. Oh. For smaller ones, as you burn out, you can try tiny ones. Mid-range tiny. Oof. Oof. Oh. Third set's gonna be a darling right there. All right, reach through, grab the middle here. Puff that chest out and squeeze it back. Chest out, squeezing back. Get some work in those arms. Now, make sure it's not about getting your elbows way far back, all right? Shoulders tucked back. You're not doing better when you pull your elbows farther back. You might be doing worse. But the shoulders roll back. That's the big benefit we want. Those are the muscles we want to wake up. The muscles between the shoulder blades, the muscles that squeeze the shoulders down also. So check it, pull all the way in, drop your shoulders before you come back forward. Drop them, and then come back. Oof. All right. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. One more set on obliques, and then we'll have trimmed the waist. And you'll know you've trimmed the waist because you'll be crying tomorrow. Maybe not crying, but you'll feel it. Abs pulled in. Coming out, squeezing up. Now again, if you get burned out, you could rest for a moment, or you could do tiny ones. Tiny little ones. But you don't go all the way down, you don't go all the way up. You play tiny mid-range. Tiny mid-range. So when in doubt, make it smaller, not bigger, but don't lay on it and don't sit all the way up. All right? Both those things feel way too good. They feel way too good. Abs pulling in. Oh, it's gotta be soon, it's gotta be soon. All right, other side. Whew. All right, tipping out, coming up. Squeezing up. Tipping out, abs pulled in, and coming up. Coming out and up. Just puff that chest out a little bit as you're doing this. You can try to almost imagine like you're stuck between two panes of glass and you're trying to move very sideways. Very sideways. Oh, it's burning out. Gotta go tiny. Gotta go tiny. Got it. Oh, all right. Woo. Let's get some stretch going real quick here before we get too cooled down. All right. Have lay down here. We got a list of the stretches. We're gonna start with that knee pull-in stretch. All right. You pull in, ankle of the knee. We're gonna do tricep. We got the hamstring, the hip, the quad, the calf, and the chest. All right. Pull that knee in towards you. Now, this is called trimming the waist. All right. And the waist, a lot of times, is a very, shame-filled location for many people. All right. It is the last place we'll lose weight, right? It's like this, the final weight we retain on our waist. Now, somehow, it came to be that we're not supposed to have any fat around our waist at all. And I'm not sure that's actually completely healthy. But we do need a narrower waist, compared to hips. All right, we do need a big difference there. The bigger the difference, usually the healthier. All right. So if I was going to keep track of only one measurement to determine if somebody was doing a pretty good job on their health or not, it probably would be waist circumference. All right, because it doesn't, the weight, he goes, I don't know if that's muscle or not. 100% body fat, super difficult to measure. All right. It's pretty good, but I think even better is waist circumference, because at your waist, if your waist is smaller, typically there's less fat. There's less fat in your body. It tells you a lot about how you're doing with body fat there. All right, across the ankle over the knee, other side. So, you know, as I say, sometimes abs are made in the kitchen. What you eat does matter a lot, but also how active you are. All right, so it's the calorie balance. The calorie balance is a big part of that. All right. Now, I don't want to be waist shamey in here. All right, so it's okay. Your waist does not ever have to be perfect. All right, we're not trying to be in swimsuit magazines or something here. All right, go ahead. We'll stand up here. We'll get the tricep. Point that elbow up in the air. Abs pulled in. All right. So we're not posing at the beach here constantly. Like we're regular people. We're regular people being somewhat regular there. All right. But we do. Yeah, it's good to take care of it, and you do feel better. You know, when you're hitting at a better spot in your circumferences, you do feel better. Other side. Point that elbow up in the air. All right. And I think, honestly, you know, nutrition is a big factor in this waist thing. I think one of the best things you can do, you know, to make nutrition easier is be a fairly active person. All right? Is to be a fairly active person. All right? Because you move around more, well, you got less time to eat, and you got more calorie burn. That's going to be occurring there too. Let's get the hamstring stretch, chest out, butt out, tipping over here. All right? So we kind of have a verse for the day here, so here it says, a sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Now I think there's many truths, to be found in the Bible here. All right, it's very, very useful. I think it's very, very practical for real life. Switch sides, other side hamstring there, chest out, butt out. So the sluggard's appetite is never satisfied. If you're sitting around, not really doing much, you're probably going to go to the cabinet more often. All right, you're going to go to the cupboard more. The temptations will show up more often for you. But the diligent are fully satisfied. They're busy working. They're busy working. A lot of times, if I get busy in a project, I don't get as hungry as soon. All right, a little hip stretch here, pressing that hip forward, pressing that heel back. And so I don't know if you've ever experienced that too, where you're in the midst of a project, you're working on it, and time flies by, and you forgot to eat. Right? You're like, that never happens when I'm sitting around bored. I always remember to eat. And so you go, there you go. Very practical wisdom this Bible thing has in it. All right? And so I think there's a whole lot of truth to that. And so if you are struggling, maybe find more active things to do, more projects to work on. Press that hip forward, press that heel back. So as you work on different projects, whether it's, maybe the project actually burns calories, as we're getting some better weather around here, as there's more outdoor things going on, but so there's outdoor stuff, but even house projects. You paint a room, you do some other stuff. It can be really, really good that way. All right, calf stretch. All right, so I'm up on the wall here. Press the heel back behind you. Bend this front knee. Stretch it out more. All right. Press that heel down. All right. Switch it. Check that back foot. Make sure those toes are pointing straight ahead. Bend this front knee, get that calf stretching more. So if you find yourself, tempted, and there's a lot of shame with the extra eating or the waist circumference you have, just look at some practical things that you can do. All right? Don't beat yourself up. Don't shame yourself for it. Just look at what steps can I take? What can I do to improve the situation here? All right, hand up about head height on the wall, shoulders down, chest is out, turning away there. Abs are in tight here. Really puff that chest out. We did a good job working that chest a bit today. Make sure as you push the chest out, you're going to feel it come across that chest a little bit more. It'll be a better quality stretch. All right. Oh, boy, it's like the calm after the storm right there. Here we go. How's it going? Shoulder down, chest is out. Oh, yes. Whew. Whew. Just doing the work to take care of our bodies there, right? Get some good calorie burn, even if that's just going for a walk. Any extra activity burns more calories, helps you narrow the waist down. You work on nutrition more, that decreases the calories a bit as well, and then, finally, it's, you can actually do some toning to these areas, also. Let me just finish this off with a little prayer there, and we will call it a day, all right? God, thank you for the opportunity we have, the blessing it is to have a body, and thank you for the wisdom that can be found and applied in some very practical ways. Some of these scriptures are even powerful, like in a spiritual context, but there's actually powerful in a very practical, just a physical context of how our bodies work. There's so much we can learn from, from the Bible, which is so many years old that it's actually interesting that you can still learn, how to do this world and this life better now. And it's still sometimes radically awesome and new information. Help us to apply some of the stuff that we know and to have patience and grace with ourselves like you have patience and grace with us. In your Son, Jesus Christ, amen. All right, have fun, be safe, God bless.